Hello, standing below me is probably one of the worst decoy sites to get to I've ever been, and that's for good reason, because if you look around it is literally marsh and tall grass. So my hands have been beaten up to shreds. Good job I was wearing Wellingtons. Enough of my moaning, enjoy your history lesson and let's explore the most difficult decoy site to ever get into. See you on the other side. Bye bye. Located in the western part of Oxfordshire, close to Chimney, lies the last remnants of a forgotten piece of World War II history, that of a bombing decoy that was used to deflect enemy bombing from Royal Air Force Brize Norton airfield. What makes this site unusual is not the area in which it was placed, but more the fact that the shelter in which was kept the generator and the crew was built on land that was noted for being flooded on many an occasion. This decoy was a Q-type decoy, meaning it was used during the night and would have been a dangerous job for those on the site, knowing that your purpose would be to try and attract the attention of German bombers using a series of lights simulating an active airfield. And it's why almost all of these decoy sites can be found in remote parts of the countryside, so that if the bombs did fall, they wouldn't be at risk of hitting any strategic or populated areas. In the case of this site, it had only been in operation for a short amount of time, between the 1st of August 1941 and a year later on the 12th of August 1942. So even though this site wasn't around for long, there's no doubt that decoy sites played an important role in the defence of the country and saved more lives than lost. And it's why places like this are a passion for me to document, so they can never be forgotten. Welcome back. That was not easy. I also think that I sort of kidded myself this morning, because I was like, oh, I'm going to do the decoy site of RF Brize Norton. Ha 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 ha. It looks really easy to get to on Google Maps. Ha 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 ha. Was it? Bloody well wasn't. I've had to make my own path to get here. And as you see me now, this isn't going to be the greatest video because there's literally no room to do any filming whatsoever. But we're here. So we're just going to go straight into it. Narrow steps. Oh, jeez. Aha. So, I did bring a torch. Now, I would guess that this is the generator, which is completely filled up. Oh god, hang on, sorry. There we go, sorry about that. So this is the generator. If you've been to this one when it wasn't, nature hadn't completely taken it over, then fair play, because that would have been the easiest thing to do. But there you go. Wow. Oh, jeez. So that's the escape hatch, which means that had to be the generator on the other side. So there's no generator plinth that I can see, although lots of habitation. Wow. So it's deceptive. What's interesting about this one is it's deceptively large, and when you're going through this, I don't even care that I look crappy. That was too much for me today. Get out of the dark. It's all going wrong. Sometimes, Dan, you just got to accept that the quality isn't going to be that good. So I came out this morning. I was like, oh, it's going to be easy. It's right by the road. You can park up, etc., etc. And I thought that there would have been a path laid out roughly, but there really wasn't. And I've basically had to make one for myself. Good thing is, though, when you stand up on top of the decoy site, you can see the road really clearly. But when you go through the undergrowth and everything else, you realise how thick it is, which is why, everybody, Good job I brought my Wellingtons, because that could have been a disaster. Anyway, enough about me. We're in here, aren't we? And actually this torch is holding up, so, you know, not all total disaster. So this is it. This is a decoy site that would have been used for RF Bryce Norton, and in your history lesson, you knew that it only lasted for about a year. I'd say you can understand why, but what you've got to remember is, which I didn't really mention in the video, was that you've got to understand, a year before, Bryce Norton had actually been hit bombing-wise, and in 1940. So they probably felt the need to do that to stop it happening again, basically. And there's some, there's a good image of this, of the actual bombing that had happened at Bryce Norton. And as we all know, Bryce Norton really is probably one of the most, you know, you could argue Biggin Hill was very famous, but Bryce Norton is probably one of the other famous RAF sites. Obviously the fact that it's still there, you can see signs. I drove up. Yeah, so this tiny little, it's not tiny, but this insignificant, God, sorry about that, there we go. This insignificant decoy site, I'm going to try and squeeze, whoa, am I going to try? No, I can't actually get in any further. My head is literally touching the top. But how many people have camped in here and done whatever? There's a bloody bathtub. I can safely say that wasn't original, but there's some wooden beam parts here. So we assume that this would have been a generator, because you can see the ports on either side and a pipe, which would have put out the petroleum. I can't believe I said that as well. Cool. It's a hit and miss one today, everybody. There's an original door frame. Oh dear. I bet some of you are laughing at this at the moment. You're like, look at him. Bloody idiot. Here he goes again. And then you've got the main control part, centre area, can't talk, with the escape hatch. Whew. There you go. It's oh my word. You can corner everything. Let's get out. Okay, so we were on top, obviously, as you saw. This is what I've had to deal with. Sorry for the wind if this comes out. That was, honestly, I'm just going to say, hands down, it was the worst one ever. And yet it was so, you believe it or not, my car is, I could literally throw a stone at it. And yet, for some strange reason, I came all the way around here and ended up somewhere in here. You wouldn't even know. And it looks like somebody's come through that path there. But again, I must have, I don't know. I'm not even going to, can you blame me, everybody? Anyway, escape hatch. So, this is us looking down into what we looked up above. Yeah? Wow. My verbal communication today is on fire. And then, obviously, it's subdivided as we saw. So you've got the main steps down there, and then on the other side would have leaked out. So we know that, obviously, the petroleum, etc. would have been on that way to help start the fires, which I'm assuming would have been on this side. Now, the reason why that's pretty much probable rather than the opposite side of the road, for obvious reasons, is also because there is a stream running down the opposite side of the road. So actually the fires, the simulation of RF Bryce Norton would have been simulated over here. And again, as I said before, if you look on Google Maps, this whole area was cut down. And as a recording, it still is on Google Maps. But when you come here, as you can see, it is crazy ridiculous. It's literally Field of Dreams, everybody, except obviously you've got this, it's the tall grass, isn't it? Sort of like bamboo type of stuff, reed stuff. Forgive me, my understanding of plants isn't great, which, you know, I should be ashamed of myself really, because I love nature, but yeah. But here we are, we're on top, like I said. We've checked out the escape hatch, we've gone inside. I have given you a history lesson, and we've documented it as briefly as possible. This might be, oh, excuse the wind, this might be one of the briefest documentations of one of my decoy sites I've ever done. But it's another decoy site to tick off the list, so we can do that. So please forgive me on this one, that this wasn't the greatest quality video decoy site you've ever seen in your life. So hopefully you can forgive me for that. It's just, there's nowhere to manoeuvre, there's nowhere to put anything, it's all overgrown. But we did document it, didn't we? So yeah, hopefully you enjoyed it. Anyway, in more words of Phoenix history, thank you so much for coming along with me. Love to all of you out there, and I'll see you all very soon. Take care. Ready? Kapow!